Hello and welcome back to my channel. How are we all doing today? And of course, welcome to episode 4 of F1 Face Guard Spooky Edition, where I pick a spooky, Halloweeny makeup look and mash it up with the colours and aesthetics of a Formula One team. Let's do this. If you've been following along, you know that the boxes for both the teams and the looks are identical. So we're gonna box and find out either the look or the team. Drumroll please. Yeah, I'm landing on this one. Cheetah! Cheetah. Speed. That's what Formula One's known for. Okay, I like that. I'll just preface this by saying with the cheetah, it's not gonna look the most Halloween-y, like gore, scary. It's kind of gonna be a bit more like glam Halloween-y, but I'm excited. Let's find out what the colors and like aesthetics are gonna be to match this. Luckily with cheetah, I feel like any colors will really do. Like you will be able to figure out what it is. I hope. Alrighty, box again. Drum roll please again, of course. Yeah, let's go with her. Oh, Sauber. Ooh, green, black, kind of Shigo vibes. Oh, I like that. I like that. So what I'm gonna do, and I've said this in the other episodes, this is gonna be a tutorial. Not really, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So what I'm planning to do is do my regular sort of like normal people glam base, normal people, whatever that means, and then add in the leopard print sort of around that, and maybe do something fun with the eyeshadow look. So I'm just going to quickly take you through what my regular schmegular, like everyday look is. Every day. I don't put makeup on every day because I'm lazy. So the first thing I'm going to do is the brows. So I use the I've said this before, e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil in deep brown. You know, funnily enough, I used to never do my brows. I would do the entire look, full glam, no brows, because I thought I looked weird with brows, only to realize the makeup look just looked incomplete. So I like to now start off with my brows so I can really marinate in the I look weird. This didn't really do anything, as you can very clearly see, but it makes me feel like it's done something. So cool, now I look like this. So for this look, I want to do false lashes, and I know you're supposed to do it like after your eyeshadow and like after the whole look to complete it, but my hand-eye coordination skills, laughable. So I'm going to do them first, so that if I mess up, I don't ruin the eyeshadow look. Work around your incompetency, work around it. So I got these from my local price line. They are already used, as you can tell. There's like there was 60 of them. And it was like 10 bucks, so best believe I snatched that on up. You know, I only ever really buy false lashes when they're on sale. I really only ever buy anything when it's on sale. When I was younger and I watched those like 10-minute long 2016 makeup compilations with the like music in the background, I would see they put the lash glue on and it dried kind of like bluish clear, and I thought that was some weird as heck magical potion. I was like, what is that? Because it looks slightly iridescent on camera, only to find out it's just regular PVA glue. They might as well be using Elmer's on that. So I was an easily impressed child. And I am still easily impressed, so. Alrighty, so we've done the lashes. That took an embarrassingly long amount of time, and still looks a bit janky, but when you put mascara over, they like blend a bit better, is what I'm telling you. So now I'm gonna do sort of like the base makeup. So as you can very clearly see, I've got grayness around my mouth. I call it the Homer Simpson mouth, and dark under eyes, so I like to color correct first. And I've said this in a previous episode, I can't remember which one, but I just use eyeshadow to color correct. I know, gaggy, baddie on a budget, but yeah, I don't have an actual like cream color corrector, and when you use those, you need to set them anyways. So my philosophy is that I'm just skipping a step, setting it because it's powder, and then women in step. So I just pick up an orange eyeshadow and I mix it with a bit of a peachy pink eyeshadow, and then I will just put a layer of this underneath my eyes. Just be careful not to go below that because your skin isn't gray there, so it doesn't need to be corrected. That sounds wrong, like no skin needs to be corrected, but you know what I mean, color correct. And I think this is just me justifying, you know, not spending money, but I think this is actually good because you can build it up really slowly. So if you're a beginner and you're not too sure how to work with color correctors yet, this could be the move for you. So now that you've laid down all that powder, you can go in with your concealer over the top. And working in thinner layers is better than glooping it all on top. Put on just a little bit. And we let it marinate. Why would we want our chicken unseasoned? No. Why would we want our face unseasoned if we don't want our chicken unseasoned? I'm vegetarian. The gag is. I love the word gag. Gaggy. Gagged. I love it. Now, I'm not going to be doing any bronzer because I'm going to do the leopard print around that area, and I'm not going to do any blush because I just feel like that doesn't really fit. So it's not like I really have any other steps I could do in the meantime. So I am just going to sit here for like 5 minutes. Tectonic moves and make them shock you like shock you like defibrillate. There's an R in there somewhere. Alrighty, while I was waiting, I went in and put a little bit on my forehead so that there's just a product there, and also to block out the brows, and did a bit of a lighter shade on my nose. So now we blend. I go in with a sponge. I personally think is the superior product to use, but the thing is it does soak up a bit more product, but I think the final result just looks so much better. So maybe it really depends on how well you can use a brush. Maybe I'm not on that level yet. just maybe. And with this, we're not trying to move the placement around too much because this concealer is quite warm and my face is a little bit more, I'd say maybe olive toned or neutral toned. It's not like just warm toned, I would say. So you don't want, well, I don't want, you're just sitting here watching this, I hope. I'm not going to try and move it around too much. Personally it still looks a little gray, but like I can't do anything about that. So now I'll do my forehead because I don't need that to be too full coverage. I just want there to be some sort of product there so that when I do anything else, there's something to blend it into. I'm not just blending it onto bare skin. I realize I said that after saying my face is not warm, so putting a warm concealer there wouldn't make sense. Sometimes the train of thought is late, okay? Sometimes there's delays. So now I'm going to go ahead and set the under eyes concealer wherever I put any powder, wherever I put any cream. What am I saying? I'm going to set my face. So I'm using the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. I don't actually know what shade this is. Mystery shade. This might not even really be my shade, but I bought it, so I'm going to use it. And I use a powder puff like a professional. And you're supposed to like really rub it in there and then tap to set, and then if you want to bake, you do that after you've set it. That's like a thin layer of powder to lock in the concealer setting, and then now you can go ahead and bake, or as I like to call it, microwave, because I don't really do the full thing. I just do a little bit where you get a sort of more powder and kind of stamp it on. You can use a brush for this, but I find it a little bit more finicky. Using a powder puff, I think it's just easier for me. And then you put it on there, and then it does something to you. Not sure what, but it does something. If I look the same after I take this off, I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to affirm me and go, wow, what a transformation. And I like to bring it up sort of to the side of my nose there, in the hopes that it will like reverse contour it better. Yay! And now you're supposed to wait, but I don't. Why? Because I'm impatient. And I go in with a fluffy brush, like a massive one. You can, I think you could use one of those fan brushes, but I feel like I poke myself in the eye. And then you just, yeah, you don't have to close both eyes, idiot, just the one. Now, if there is no transformation, maybe that's because I didn't wait, but you know, shut up. Now we can go and do the leopard print stuff, what you actually came here for. I hope, not to just see me look like an idiot. Massive forehead. So let's do that. So I've got this sort of slightly more pale green shade that I'm going to use and apply it in the areas that I would normally apply a bronzer, and then we can do the like cheetah pattern over it. Is it leopard or, oh, have I confused myself? Okay, it's a leopard print, like the, you know what I'm talking about. Now we do over my forehead. very massive, so we're gonna need a lot of face paint. Yeah, like I'm not making that up, I need to mix more. And if you feel like, well, as is the situation right now, the face paint isn't as like pigmented, or it's like sort of hard to keep building it up, really just dependent on what face paint you're using. You can always go in with an eyeshadow, which are like pretty pigmented typically, or some sort of powder product to build up the coverage. So I'm not too worried about it being a little bit not very opaque. So now using a green, girl, is that a rice cooker? Using a green eyeshadow, I'm going to build up the coverage a little bit more. Cool, so now the green bits are like completely set and ready to use. So I'm gonna go in with a black. I'm gonna start off with a cream product and just start drawing little squiggle shapes. The way I try to think of it is they kind of look like a coffee bean with like the hole cut out in the middle. So just vague coffee bean looking and otherwise swirly kind of shape. And then I'm just going to very like lightly map them out, and then I can go in with a black eyeshadow over the top and make it a lot more pronounced. So this way I can make mistakes and it's okay. Everything is a fail-safe. That is how I operate. 99% of the things I do is a fail-safe for the 1% of stuff that I actually do. What a life to live. What a life to live. Okay. Riveting. I'm just gonna go and do this like 100 more times. But yes, also I think I'm gonna do larger ones more to the center and then smaller ones fanning out, because like perspective and art and all that. Okay, like 5 hours later, we're done mapping them out, and now I'm gonna go over them with black eyeshadow to make them pop a little bit more. Of course, if you have a like a liquid eyeliner, oh wait, I have a liquid eyeliner pen. Okay, that might make this job way easier. Okay, I'm gonna try using this. Innovation. Formula 1 is all about innovation and common sense. Oh yay, why didn't I do this earlier? What are you? Idiot sandwich. Oh my god, speaking of Gordon Ramsay, I'm just gonna share a little, it's not, I mean, I don't think it's sad, but you may think it's sad, tidbit about my life. In high school, whenever I was having a bad day, I made a playlist on my phone on YouTube of a bunch of like the funniest Gordon Ramsay clips, and it had a lot of Hell's Kitchen in it, a lot of the earlier seasons. Raj, icon, queen, hilarious. And whenever I had a bad day, I would just sit down with some snacks and then watch, and I called it Bad Day Playlist, and I would just watch Gordon Ramsay and I would feel so much better, because at least I wasn't as incompetent as those adults. Now I'm an adult, I don't really have an excuse, but as a child I was like, oh, imagine being an idiot, imagine serving like raw fish or whatnot. I'm vegetarian, I wouldn't even know how to cook that. So Gordon Ramsay, icon, love him, love him. And I also love the way he explains stuff when he's cooking, like the cadence of his voice. Right, lettuce, then, like that, I love that. I love that, I eat that up. I mean, usually I don't eat up the food he's making because there's meat in it. Do we have any other vegetarians, vegans in the comments? You know, I used to be like, oh my god, imagine being vegan, which is crazy because I'm vegetarian, it's not that far off, so I don't know what I was on. But I was like, oh, imagine being vegan, what a sad, depressing life. And then I really like thought about it, and I was like, well, what's stopping me from becoming vegan? And I was thinking like, I love ice cream. I really don't. Every time we have a tub of ice cream in the freezer, I just can't be bothered because it's always rock hard and I just give up. So really with ice cream, I could be fine. And if I go out, I just get not a gelato, a sorbet. So that's fine. Then I was like, okay, well, what else? Cheese. Cheese is so expensive nowadays that it's not like we even have cheese in our house every week. So, you know, that's fine. And nutritional yeast is actually so delicious. People get on the nutritional yeast train. And then milk, I was like, oh, that's where it is, you know, milk, like, I love milk. And then I had oat milk for the first time and I was like, oh my god. I thought I liked almond milk, but I really didn't, I was just faking it. Almond milk is not it, people. You people who like almond milk, you scare me. Because it literally tastes like water, not water. Ew. But oat milk is so delicious, and I really do like soy milk as well. Now the thing is, I had oat milk, and then I tried soy milk right afterwards, so I think they taste the same, but I don't know if that's some like Pavlovian conditioning nonsense and I've just made that up in my head, but I think I like soy milk. So, you know, alternative milk, that's fine. Like I'm happy with that. And I don't eat egg. Like I'm the vegetarian that doesn't eat egg. So then I was like, oh my god, could I just be vegan? And then the thing that was like, well, no, is yogurt. I really like Greek yogurt. But the thing is, like, nowadays there's, I mean, I don't think ever there was really any strict rules on being like vegan. So I guess I could say I'm like mostly vegan except yogurt, and I don't like mixing anything in it. I don't like mixing fruit in it. I eat my fruits separately. Like I'll cut up my fruit separately and I'll have my yogurt separately. I don't know what it is with that. Like I know it'll digest the same, but I hate when things are mixed in. I like everything separate. And I will just drink plain oat milk. I don't like to mix anything in it. Sometimes I put like chocolate powder in it. I don't drink coffee or tea. I'm literally a glorified child. I have the mind of a picky 7-year-old in the body of an adult. This is working so well. Why did I start off with face paint? I could have literally saved, I kid you not, 30 minutes. For someone who likes Formula 1 and speed, I am quite slow. Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, although the Sauber car might have been. Because that is a tractor. I'm excited though for Audi taking over next year. I hope we see good things. I think, see, with Nico Hülkenberg, I think it's proven that the man could do wonders in a really good car, given, you know, how well he's been doing this season. You know, podium, P5 at one time, beating Hamilton, like, you know, insane work in a Sauber, people. And for people who aren't really into F1 and are just here to see my giant forehead and make a fool of myself, it's as if everybody's competing in a NASA rocket ship and then somebody found a wheelbarrow from 1987 and that's the Sauber car. Also, I talked about this with Carlos Sainz in the Williams episode and how I really marvel whenever a driver has such like immense technical expertise. And especially so within the race. But that one, I think it was Silverstone, where Nico Hülkenberg basically promoted himself to like strategist, analyst, whatever, and made basically like all the calls. That's so impressive to me. That's so like, this is what I signed up for. This is what I signed up for. Not that any of the other drivers are particularly unimpressive. Fast car go zoom is cool, but fast car go zoom while like big brain inside fast car go zoom is even more cool. Did that make any sense? Probably not, but you know, what's new here? So now I'm gonna go in with a lighter green, like pale green eyeshadow and fill in the middle. Okay, this is what we're looking like. I ate. This looks so good. I think, yeah, definitely going in with a lighter shade helped it sort of come together a little bit better. Now, for the eyeshadow look, I was going to do basically leopard print actually on my eyes, but I realized I think that might be a little bit too close to the rest of it and a little bit too busy. So I think I'm just gonna do sort of a plain look and maybe just like a bit of a liner, maybe a graphic liner, something like that. I think what could be cool though is leopard print on the lips. So what I'm gonna do is my eyeshadow look first, then I'll do the nose. I'll try and make it look a bit like animalistic, whatever that means, literally whatever that means. I'm just saying words. And then we're gonna try some leopard print lips. So for the eyeshadow look, I'm gonna go in with a dark kind of cool brown, kind of like a mud shade, and go in on the inside, just like the inner corner, and then also on the outside. I think this is called a halo eye. I'm not sure, but yeah, we're leaving a gap. You know, I think a smaller brush might work, just because the lashes are in the way, because I did them first. I can see why people say you should do the lashes last, but yeah, dark brown on the inner and outer corner of the eye. Next, I'm going to pick up a darker green shadow and then just kind of stamp that into the middle. So now I'm going to go in with the lightest shade of green that we used all over and put that right in the center, just like that. And then I can go in with a little bit more of that darker green and blend it in and make it a bit more pigmented. Now I'm going to use a little bit of concealer to clean up that line and make it a bit more sharp. So I'm going in with a little flat brush because that's easier to work with. And we're just going to put a thin layer of concealer around the look. Nice, so that's looking a lot more sharp. Now I'm going to move on to doing the nose. So I'm going to start off with something actually a bit warm to do just sort of like a regular like bronzer on the nose. And we're kind of going to do it, we're not going to do the like a button nose thing, it's just like straight down all the way. Now I'm going to go in with that smaller eyeshadow brush that we used and pick up the tiniest bit of the darker shadow and use it to kind of contour a little bit more deeply. So this is one of those steps where you want to work really slowly, and for someone who's extremely impatient like me, it will suck, but what will suck more is the look being ruined. And now for the nose. Now I was thinking, should I do brown? But I think actually I'll do like a black color just to fit more into the like Sauber colors. Kind of like a little swoop type thing. A little swoop, like a really wide M. Okay, it keeps going higher and higher than I wanted it to go, but we're just gonna deal with it. Okay, I'm happy with that because I'm happy with that. Now we do the fun bit, the leopard print lips. So I'm just gonna finish this kind of off camera because you've basically seen the look. You know, I'm kind, so just in case anyone is actually taking this seriously like a real tutorial, I will show you the process of doing it on my lips because it might be a bit different. Well, it will be a bit different doing it on your face. So I'm starting off with the same like cream face paint, whatever you want to use, that I used around like my face as the base. And because there's all these like grooves and ridges in your lips, which are normal, by the way, and let me tell you why, because I am a science girly pop. Because if you have the higher surface area to volume ratio, the more like absorption occurs. That's just like a thing. Like you can do experiments on that, like cutting up, like I think certain jellies like absorb stuff. If you cut up jellies in different like sizes, you'll find the ones where the surface area is larger than the volume absorb the most stuff. So that's why certain areas of your skin, like, you know, under your eyes, your lips, they will have like wrinkles and folds in them because then there's more surface area and more stuff can absorb. So it's actually good to have wrinkles and whatnot in your lips, people. Science. Anyways, off my little tangent, don't feel insecure if your lips aren't completely smooth because that's weird as heck. We are, yeah, just applying, trying to get it a thin layer. Yeah, as is with most like beauty stuff, like even like doing your nail polish and makeup and stuff, a thin even layer that you can build up is way easier to work with and produces a better result than a thick gloopy layer. And then I'm just gonna go in with the same brush again. You can go in with a smaller brush if that's easier for you, and go in with a green eyeshadow to just set that. You know, I mean, I said I'm a science major. I major in medical science and neuroscience because I hate myself. You know what? Actually, that's fake. I don't hate myself. I love the majors that I picked. It's actually really interesting. I just say that to people I meet for the first time because, like, that's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say, oh, I picked neuroscience because I hate myself. It's actually really interesting. But anybody else, what are you guys majoring in? Or if, like, you don't go to uni, or, like, you know, you're just vibing, like, what are, like, some of your academic interests? Like, what subjects really interested you? I used to really not like math or physics. But then when I got better at it, because, well, the reason why I wasn't so good was because I didn't like it, and I didn't like it because I wasn't so good at it. And then I, like, tried to get better and it worked, and then now I really like it and it's really interesting. And it helps being a fan of Formula One getting into math and physics, like the math and physics side of stuff. So now that's set, this is probably one of the most uncomfortable feelings. I hate liquid lipsticks for this very reason. It's just, oh, I want to get it off my face immediately. But no, we will persevere. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the eyeliner pencil. We're not going to go back in with the face paint because that was idiotic. We're doing the same sort of thing. Now with this, I'm not going to do any bigger, any smaller. I'm just going to do the same sort of medium-sized little coffee bean shapes and squiggles. So we're going to do that. Okay, I think I might actually have to switch to face paint just because the eyeliner pen is kind of dragging on the powder a bit, which, I mean, that's gonna happen, that's okay. So, we persevere. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with that lighter green eyeshadow and fill in those little dots to make them pop a lot more. Now I'm gonna go back in with that black face paint and just sort of fix up some of the areas where the eyeshadow went too close onto the line. I am now gonna finish up the little, the little finishing touches and then come back to y'all with the final look. And this is the final look. I love this. This turned out so good. I'm in love with the lips. I did end up doing like kind of like a liner on it. Yeah. I'd say 9 out of 10. I don't know, there's something about it that's like a little bit off, but like other than that, I ate once again. So thank you for watching another episode of F1 Face Guard Spooky Edition, and I'll see you in the next episode. Gelato out!